Good afternoon and welcome in to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton, coming to you live from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia. Glad to have you guys alongside for the ride. Did not mean to rhyme there. It happens.
I thought you actually wrote that.
Nope, that was off the cuff and not necessarily meant to happen. But
you're a poet and you didn't even know it.
Can bust a rhyme anytime. That's what they say. Anyway, thank you guys for being with us, of course, as always. We have a fantastic show lined up today. We've got some guests. We don't always have guests on Monday, but some massive news over the weekend kind of warranted it, as well as the conclusion of the NBA's in-season tournament that I can tell you Mo and I watched about the same amount of, 0. Very, very little, if much at all. So Landon Secrest is going to join us in the second hour. He'll talk about it. And as I do know that the Lakers won it. That's what I know. So that's the extent of my
to which many LBJ fans have said Michael Jordan never won an in-season tournament.
That's fantastic. You know, MJ might come back at this point. I'm just saying.
Just to play in and win an in-season tournament.
I'm just saying. But we'll talk about that with Landon. Baseball, John PERROTTO of Sportskeeda joins us in just a few moments to talk about Shohei Ohtani and the dominoes that have fallen. Just got some Braves news, so we'll talk about them as well in the show. And of course, Terry McCormick at the top of the hour gives you your daily Titans report as they are playing tonight, but they're not the only game in town tonight, which is really weird. So yeah, there are 2 Monday night games starting at the same time.
There's 2 NFL games?
2 NFL games, same time.
You know what? You know who's happiest about that?
The Titans?
The Titans. Because not everybody will see this bloodletting.
No, they will not. Oh. So
who's the other game?
The Packers, and we'll get to it. I'll tell you who it is in the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Oh, the Monday rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy. Prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Girls basketball from over the weekend on Friday night. Laverne 52, Antioch 32. It was Coffee County 56-34 winners over Blackman. Callaway County of Kentucky edged Christ Presbyterian 40-39. It was Creekwood 71-45 winners over Centennial, and Clarksville 71 West Creek 26. Ezel Harding down Clarksville Academy 57-31, while Northwest was a 58-34 winner over Northeast. Loretto with a 20-point win over Collinwood 48-28. Cookville down to Hendersonville 37-29. Culleoka a 56-14 winner over Zion Christian. Good Pasture Downs at Davidson Academy 65-35. East Nashville 74-11 winners over Lawson. Nashville Christian 56-27 against Friendship Christian. Stewart's Creek edges Gallatin 43-42, while Grace Franklin down Columbia Academy 58-44. It was Lebanon 44, Green Hill 35. Harpeth Hall, how about this? 53-41 winners over Webb School. This is going to be an interesting year for the Webb Feet women. That's all I'm saying. Fairview 43, Hickman County 42, Hillsborough Downs Independence 52-22, Ensworth 53-18 winners over Hume Fogg. Stratford Falls to John Overton 73-51, while Henry County was a 52-16 winner over Kirkwood. Livingston Academy 60, Martin Luther King 13, Whites Creek 48, McGavock 39, Merrill Hyde 40-37 winners over Joe Burns, and Battleground Academy falls to MTCS 59-44.
Also, Brentwood Academy defeated Page 45-39. Rockvale with a 59-43 win over Nolensville. Rossview defeated Kenwood 65-27. It was Eagleville 45, Santa Fe 24. Shepherdville with a 41-18 win over Riverdale. Springfield defeated Dixon County 35-28. That's basketball, not football. Hill with a 39-34 win over visiting Marshall County. Coverage in MainStreetMurray.com by Beach 67, Station Camp 42, Valor Collegiate 68, STEM Academy 3. That's also basketball, not football. With a 47-45 win over Moore County as Carly Campbell scored 20. Columbia Central 48, Summit 32. Cheatham County with a 30-29 win over Sycamore. Duncan Road Academy 60, University School of Nashville 22. Upperman down Providence Christian 36-31. It was Westmoreland with a 45-38 win over Allen County, Kentucky. White House Heritage defeated Portland 35-32. Wilson Central 61, Mount Pleasant 40, York Institute 54, Oakland 21. Those were all Friday night girls basketball results.
Wilson Central, Mount Juliet.
What else?
Pleasant.
I'm sorry.
Which is, yeah, understand.
Wilson Central 61, Mount Juliet 40. There you go. Again, those were all Friday night girls results. On Saturday, Coffee County defeated Ravenwood 72-30. Knoxville Catholic with a 61-48 win over Ensworth. South Haven Christian defeated Fayette Academy 60-38. FC Boyd Senior Christian with a 44-36 win over Franklin Christian. Father Ryan defeated Franklin Road Academy 42-30. Grace Christian of Franklin 51, Pope Prep 48. Lipscomb Academy 62, Battleground Academy 54. Middle Tennessee Christian defeated Nashville Christian 56-50. Richland 61, Zion Christian 3. Conway of Arkansas defeated Rockvale 58-40. Pearl Cone defeated Sheffield of Alabama 50-33. And Upperman down Cleveland 54-42.
Boys basketball, Laverne 55-38 winners over Antioch. Blackman Downs Coffee County 43-40 on Friday. It was Callaway County 77-76. Wow. 2 1-point wins for Callaway County over Christ Presbyterian in girls and boys. That is
folks got what they paid for.
Unfortunate for Christ Presbyterian, but yes, it sounds like they did get what they got the price of admission there. Franklin 70, Cane Ridge 63, Clarksville 45, West Creek 29, Clarksville Academy Downs Ezo Harding 67-52, and Northwest 74-51 winners over Northeast. It was Loretto 68, Collinwood 49, Cookville down to Hendersonville 49-35, not football. Culleoka 65-48 winners over Zion Christian, and coverage of that on MainStreetMurray.com from yours truly as well. Good Pasture 75-64 winners over Davidson Academy. East Nashville 51-44 against Lawson. Friendship Christian 90-55 against Nashville Christian. Gallatin down Stewart's Creek 58-39. Glencliff 77-63 winners over Smyrna. Columbia Academy down Grace Franklin 52-40. And Green Hill 64-35 winners over Lebanon. Fairview falls to Hickman County 43-38. Independence and Hillsborough. Jeez. It's 57 for Independence, 49 for the Hillsborough, for the Boroughs. All right. John Overton, 79. Stratford, 36. Kirkwood, 63. Henry County, 28. Martin Luther King, 55-54 against Livingston Academy. Joe Burns, 77. Merrill Hyde, 40. Battleground Academy, Downs Middle Tennessee Christian, 78-38. And Donaldson Christian with a 61-55 win over Mount Juliet Christian.
Also on Friday, boys basketball, Brentwood Academy with a 62-47 win over Page. Pope Prep defeated McCallie 75-61. I guess they don't have any basketball boarding students. Okay. Providence Christian 75, Webb 57. Nolensville with a 64-50 win over Rockvale. Rossview defeated Kenwood 54-49. It was Santa Fe 48, Eagleville 45. Shelbyville with a 68-55 win over Riverdale. Marshall County defeated Spring Hill 71-46. Beach Down Station Camp 57-46. Summertown 83, Moore County 39. Summit with a 55-49 win over Columbia Central, sweeping that season series. Sycamore with a 57-41 win over Cheatham County. University School of Nashville 62, Franklin Road Academy 59, Westmoreland 60, Allen County, Kentucky 32. East Robertson with a 71-58 win over White House. White House Heritage defeated Portland 57-42. Wilson Central 63, Mount Juliet 39. And York Institute edged Oakland 62-60 on Saturday. Ravenwood defeated Coffee County 62-45. It was South Haven Christian 59, Fayette Academy 49. Father Ryan with a 50-45 win over Franklin Road Academy. Memphis University School defeated Kirkwood 57-52. Battleground Academy down Lipscomb Academy 63-43. Arlington with a 37-32 win over Loretto. Middle Tennessee Christian defeated Nashville Christian 60-52. Montgomery Bell Academy won 63-41 over Murray, Kentucky. Richland defeated Zion Christian 61-47. Rockvale 69. Humboldt 59. West Creek with a 59-49 win over Russellville, Kentucky. And Siegel defeated Upperman 55-48.
And based on some reports from Twitter, that Siegel Upperman game was intense. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's that. Men's basketball from the weekend, Tennessee down Illinois, 86-79. It was Austin P making it a tough trip for Murray State males, 53-49 over the Racers. Belmont, 75, Middle Tennessee State, 65, and apparently worse than the score indicated from what I understand. Lipscomb down Genesee State 78-71. UT Southern edged Cumberland 89-87. And Philander Smith got Fisk in double overtime 78-68. Trevecca got a big win over Malone 69-65. On the women's side, Murray State's women did at least take some kind of consolation home with a 93-85 win over the Lady Govs of Austin P. Tennessee down Eastern Kentucky 72-63. MTSU with a 63-47 win over Tennessee Tech. Lipscomb down Johnson 85-49. Fisk was a 71-63 winner over Philander Smith. And Trevecca down Lake Erie 91-45. On the ice, Toronto blanked the Predators on Saturday 4-0. Preds come back on Sunday with a 2-1 win over Montreal. And Minnesota in the association with a 127-103 win over the Grizzlies.
Tonight's high school basketball schedule. These are all doubleheaders, all girls games starting at 6 o'clock. Montgomery Central is at Cheatham County. Friendship Christian goes to Clarksville Academy. Fairview hosts Marshall County. Joe Burns is at Houston County. Mount Juliet takes on visiting Smyrna. Eagleville travels to Mount Pleasant. Summertown is at Murfreesboro Central. Frank Hughes is at Santa Fe, and Dixon County goes out to Waverly. Girls only, 5:30 tip. Briarcrest Christian is at Lipscomb Academy. In the National Football League, 7:15 kickoff on ESPN. It is the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. 7:15 kickoff on ABC. It is the Green Bay Packers in East Rutherford, New Jersey, against the New York Football Giants. And at FedEx Forum tonight, 7 o'clock tip, you can see it on NBA TV. It's the Dallas Mavericks at the Memphis Grizzlies, and that is your rundown.
Top stories brought to you by our friends at Piggly Wiggly in Neely's Mill Shopping Center here in Columbia. Make sure to go by and see, of course, the fine folks at Piggly Wiggly who are keeping you fed and happy over there. If you're looking for lunch, they've got great lunch specials. And of course, your fresh hand-cut meats and produce, all cost plus 10 at the register. Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill Shopping Center here in Columbia. Our top story today is very unfortunate, and I know Justin is still likely mourning here on this Monday, as Frank Wycheck, Titans legend, tight end, and of course will forever be remembered for the Music City Miracle and his lateral to Kevin Dyson. You heard me. I said what I said.
You said what you said, and you said it right.
So, Frank died over the weekend after reports saying that he fell inside his home in Chattanooga and passed away. But yeah, tough to talk about today.
It is. And, you know, you mentioned obviously his part in the Music City Miracle and the lateral to Dr. Dyson for that touchdown and that win over Buffalo in the AFC wildcard game. But this guy, when he played, was one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. And obviously that was a huge play that he was a part of for the Titans. It set them on that path to the franchise's only Super Bowl appearance. 3 playoff wins all on the next 2 playoff games on the road. But again, he was more than that one play as a player. And I feel like that deserves to be said, you know, that those first couple of years that they spent in Nashville playing that first year at Vanderbilt and then the first year in the new stadium. And he was a major part of a lot of their success aside from the Music City Miracle. So thoughts go out to his family, obviously, and to Titans fans everywhere.
Yeah, Wycheck had a really solid career here in Nashville, but even before, when they were in Houston, man, you know, he was a part of the team that obviously left, but just a really, you know, not just on the field, but off the field here in Nashville, a really important figure in bringing an NFL franchise to Nashville.
505 career receptions, 5,126 receiving yards, 28 touchdowns.
And obviously he's in the Ring of Honor inside Nissan Stadium.
Rightfully so.
Played his college ball at Maryland. Was a 6th round pick in the 93 draft of the Washington Redskins. So, you know, you always kind of think about guys like Wycheck and kind of remember them for their, you know, the big things. But to play tight end in the NFL for as long as he did at that high of a level is really impressive, because there aren't many guys who do that. I mean, you think about, and I know that injuries were part of it, but you think about like Sterling Sharp, you know, I mean, tight ends just didn't last very long, especially in the 90s, because they were the guys going over the middle. They were the guys getting hit by those middle linebackers that didn't have rules against them, and the safeties who didn't have rules against, you know, spearing and targeting and things like that. I mean, they were the guys who had to take the brunt of that stuff. And, you know, Frank was very vocal, you know, not too long ago about, you know, feeling like he had suffered CTE.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I think you have to be impressed with what he did in his career. I know, Justin, you saw, you had tweeted something about, where he ranked among quarterback tight end duos with
Right.
McNair. I think Sharp and Elway were in that mix.
Shannon,
Yeah,
you said
not
Sterling.
I meant Shannon.
Okay.
Yeah. Sterling played wide receiver for the Packers.
I was wondering if you knew something I didn't.
No, I just,
It's
for
okay.
whatever reason.
It's okay. It happens.
But Kelsey and Mahomes kind of bring it to the forefront in our minds these days. There aren't a whole lot of great tight end quarterback combos, but Gates and even Phillip Rivers. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Wycheck and McNair rank at least top 5.
Looking deeper at his stats, 11 seasons for those 505 catches, and more than half of his catches went for first downs, 270. I mean, that's
impressive.
Tight end is always your quarterback's security blanket, and Wycheck filled that role, particularly with the Titans.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. We, of course, just want to say one more time that we send our condolences out to the Wycheck family and, to the Titans family.
Mm-hmm.
I know that many of them in Nashville are hurting today. Before we get out of here, Mo, this is not really part of the top story, but I don't know if we're going to get a chance to get to it in the next segment since we have a guest. Just before we came on the air, literally like seconds before our faces showed up on the screen, the blue box from the Atlanta Braves popped up, and we have coaches.
Which is a good thing. Coaches are good. I mean, players are better, but coaches are good.
I mean, players are important. Coaches are too. Matt Tuiasosopo, Tom Goodwin, and Eric Abreu have been named third base, first base, and bullpen coaches respectively. That will round out the coaching staff. Tuiasosopo will coach third, Goodwin at first, and then Abreu, coming over from the Astros organization, will be in the bullpen. Not surprised to see Matt Tuiasosopo at third base.
No, he had been at Gwinnett, and as recently as this past summer when Ron Washington stepped away from the team for a weekend to be inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Tuiasosopo came up and was the third base coach that weekend. So he has filled in on a handful of occasions in that capacity. I'll be interested to see what happens with the Gwinnett Stripers 1P as far as what they do to replace him in that role.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think he's going to make a great third base coach. But you look at that Gwinnett roster and you see the record they had. You go, oh man, don't know if Tuiasosopo is a great managerial candidate in the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really blame
and
those guys at that level for results.
Well,
I think.
And the inconsistency of their pitching staff, because as much inconsistency as the Braves had at the big league level, they had just as much at the AAA level.
Certainly.
So he was having to deal with all of that too. But yeah, that being said, I think he's a great coach, native of Bellevue, Washington. And Goodwin is the first base coach coming over from the minor league system as basically a guy who just kind of bounced around and was an instructor in the organization. 2 previous stints as a major league first base coach with the Red Sox and the Mets. Won a World Series with Boston in 2018.
Trying to figure out who the Braves' previous bullpen coach was, because I thought it was Eddie Perez.
Yeah, I thought it was Eddie Perez too.
But
I'm pretty sure it was.
on November 29th, Sports Illustrated reported Braves lose another coach as bullpen coach Drew French moves to Baltimore as pitching coach. I have never heard of Drew French. Supposedly joined Atlanta as bullpen coach in December of 2020. So he spent the last 3 seasons, supposedly, with the Braves in that position. Again, I've never heard of Drew French, but I cannot find where Eddie Perez.
He's coaching with the Braves. Now, I don't know what he's coaching, but he is coaching with the Braves.
Okay, well, good. But I thought
and has since 07.
I thought yeah.
So I don't know who Drew French is.
I do not know who Drew French is, but he's no longer our concern.
he is now in Baltimore. Good for
him.
him.
We don't have to know who he is now, I don't guess. But I thought.
So in 16, Perez was the first base coach.
I don't remember that.
Mark Bowman, June 11th, 2016. Braves draft first base coach Perez's son in 36th round. So look, man, I don't know. I just know that Eddie Perez is on the staff. I don't know where, don't know what he's doing, but he's on the staff.
But Tom Goodwin presumably replaces Eric Young as first base coach, who went to join Ron Washington with the Angels. So it's interesting. Also,
Eddie Perez is the major league coach.
Okay.
He's the major league, whatever the heck that means, that's what he does. He's the major league coach.
Okay. Also in the blue box, bench coach Walt Weiss will serve as infield coach, taking over the duties vacated by Wash.
As we suspected. All right. Well, there you go. Those are your top stories of the day. We've got John PERROTTO coming up, and we'll talk to him about Shohei Ohtani and the dominoes that have fallen since and have yet to fall. So stick around. Main Street Sports Station presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be back in a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton here on this Monday Mirror as we look back at the weekend in sports. And the biggest news in all of baseball, and maybe in all of sports, over the weekend was the signing of Shohei Ohtani to the Los Angeles Dodgers for the richest contract in sports history, 10 years, $700 million. And boy, what a contract that is. That being said, once Shohei signed, everybody else kind of got going a little bit. And there are still some big names out there that I think will fall here very shortly now that Shohei is off the table. So let's talk about it. And we bring in Sportskeeda's John PERROTTO to do that. John, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, John. So I assume that the Pirates, your Pirates, were never in the running for Ohtani?
The best I could ascertain, the answer was no. I don't have that for 100% certainty, but I would have it with 99.999% certainty.
I didn't figure they were. I just thought that would be a nice little icebreaker there. But
thought that cash the Braves sent them might have gone a long way.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they haven't spent 700 million total on over the last 8 or 9 years in payroll, let alone for one player.
Yeah. Oh, and understandably so. I mean, what do you think about the Dodgers spending $700 million for a guy, a two-way player who we don't know when, or worst case scenario, if he's going to be able to pitch?
Well, they have the money to do it. Certainly, they're one of the richest franchises in all of professional sports. 700 was a little surprising. I think everybody knew he was going to break the major league record, which was 426 million that Mike Trout got from the Angels. But I don't think too many people thought 700. I thought he would get 500 million, I should say, for 10 years, or maybe even $600 million. But I'm quite surprised they went all the way to $700 million. But I will give a veteran pitcher credit for this. Rich Hill, who was with the Pirates earlier this year, and of course I'm based in Pittsburgh. I was talking to Rich about this like at midseason. I said, what do you think he's going to get? He goes, I really think it's going to end up at 700 million. So he was right on the money with that. I thought he was a little bit high, but boy, he was right.
Where did he come up with that number? Where did the Dodgers come up with that number? I mean,
the best guess, and they've kept such a lid on all the negotiations that really any information is pretty much speculative, including that he was supposedly on a flight from Orange County to Toronto on Friday, which turned out not to be true. My best guess, from trying to read between the lines and read the tea leaves, is Toronto made him a really big offer, at least 600, maybe more than that. And the Dodgers had to beat that. And they did it $700 million. But if they're paying him $700 million, and the Dodgers are a smart organization, they weren't going to bid against themselves. I have to believe he had an offer of 600 or 650 on the table for them to go that high.
Yeah. And the Dodgers have now signed Joe Kelly to a one-year deal for $8 million, which pales in comparison.
Yeah, poor Joe Kelly.
and Joe's got to give up his number too, 17. He can't wear that anymore. He's got to give it up to Ohtani. So he gets $692 million less, and he's got to
loses
his number.
That ain't right.
I don't
No.
know. If I'm Joe Kelly, there's no way I'm signing with the Dodgers. That's unfortunate.
And that's crazy on a number of fronts, really. But John, Dodgers not bidding against themselves aside, I mean, a number of people are saying, well, it was always going to be the Dodgers. I mean, do you feel like that was the case? I mean, that they were just ultimately going to, was it a come see us last type situation and they were going to do whatever it took to get him?
You know, it was always the thought for over a year that Ohtani was going up with the Dodgers. You know, they didn't really do much last offseason. They didn't sign any big-time free agents. They didn't make any trades for big money players. And the thought around baseball was they're saving up their money to make a big run for Ohtani. So it's not surprising that they signed him, but I thought the Angels might come in at the last minute and try to keep him. And I saw the Angels in Cleveland last May, and in talking to the Angel people, there were a lot of people that thought Ohtani was very comfortable there. He basically calls his own shots. He basically set his own schedule when he was going to pitch, when he was going to DH, what days he were going to be off. And there were some players, and again, he's so secretive, the players didn't want to talk on the record about this, but they thought that maybe he would want to stay there for a comfort level, and the fact that he already knew that he'd be able to do things his own way in Anaheim.
It's interesting because you mentioned something that's very important, not this coming year, but in future years. You know, Ohtani only pitched every 6 days, and typically. And so everybody else kind of had to get on that schedule. And I'm curious how much of an impact that's going to have. And for a guy who only pitched every 6 days to now be on his second arm surgery, it seems like a reach for 10 years.
And that's why, yeah, I and the 700 million is what really surprises me. Because like you said, if he doesn't come back as well from this surgery as he did his previous surgery, then you're paying a one-way player $70 million a year. And the allure of Ohtani is that he's a great hitter and a great pitcher, and you're paying him to do both. Now, Ohtani is a good athlete. A lot of people say, well, he's just a designated hitter. Well, the Angels used him at DH because they didn't want to play him in the outfield on days that he wasn't pitching. He's a very good defensive outfielder. He had that reputation in Japan, so I think he would be an above-average right fielder. But still, to me, it is, I agree with you, it's a big gamble to pay this much money to somebody that you don't know if he's going to be compromised or not as a pitcher once he returns from this surgery, which won't be until 2025.
And then again, if he does pitch every 6 days, you've got 4 other pitchers. How does that even, somebody's going to be on extra rest every time he goes out? It just seems like a really difficult.
Or somebody's going to be on short rest every time he goes out.
Something's going to happen, and it's going to affect the rest of your pitching staff. And I don't know. I've been curious if that's what Dave Roberts was worried about, and that's why he kept trying to leak stuff.
Trying to stir it up.
I don't know.
I will say this: the Angels accommodated him, like you said, Chris, with a 6-man rotation. And in today's baseball, there are very few teams that have 5 legitimate starting pitchers. So I think you're really stretching it, even the Dodgers, with all the money they have, to think you can come up with 6 legitimate big league starting pitchers.
And with the issues that they've had with their pitching rotation, Walker Buehler,
Clayton Kershaw.
They're
apparently going after Tyler Glass now, who's also hurt all the time.
Who's that?
Glass now.
Oh,
all the time.
Yeah. It would almost seem, John, on the field as if that money would have been better spent on a few people.
You're right, Mo. And I mean, he's a great player. There's no doubt. And I think there's been nobody else really like him. You can say Babe Ruth, but he's been even better than Babe Ruth when it comes to being able to do both at a high level. I know a lot of it is advertising, sale, ticket sales, things like that he is going to generate, and that'll help pay for the contract too. But when you look at the Dodgers last year, I mean, they barely had enough starting pitching to get through the season. They relied on a lot of young kids, a lot of rookies. And you do wonder if they didn't take that money and spend it on, say, like the Japanese pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and maybe like Blake Snell or somebody like that. Maybe they'd have been better off getting 2 frontline starting pitchers and maybe like a number 4 or 5 starter and really filled their holes that way, more than where they already have one of the most powerful offenses in baseball. I don't really know if they need him as much as other teams need him to put that bat in the middle of the lineup.
John PERROTTO joining us here on Main Street Sports today. And John, you just mentioned some of the names that wanted to talk about. Yamamoto, Blake Snell. Of course, we talked about Tyler Glass now as far as, I guess, where he fits in that role. How does this affect comp numbers? Does it affect comp numbers because he's a two-way player, and the numbers just so high it's insane? So there are a lot of guys out there. Jordan Montgomery. How does this affect the rest of the free agent period?
Well, that's a great question. And a lot of people around baseball, and I was there in Nashville last week for the winter meetings, were wondering the same thing. And I guess maybe the thing is there's really no comparable to Ohtani. So I don't know if I'm an agent, if I'm Jordan Montgomery's agent, as much as I want to try to get him a really big contract, I don't know if I can say, well, hey, he's as good, he's almost as good as pitcher as Shohei, so I want $400 or $500 million. I just think it's hard to draw any kind of comp to him. So I sort of suspect, and I don't know this for sure, we're going to find out here over the next few months. I want to say it's going to be an outlier that is just far and above any other contract because his ability to star on both sides of the ball are so above everyone else's that I think this contract will be an outlier. And I don't think that all of a sudden more guys will be getting $500 or $600 million contracts. Maybe Juan Soto when he becomes a free agent at the end of the year, but it's just really, really hard to draw a true comparison to Ohtani.
You almost have to take him in a vacuum because of his unique situation relative to everybody else's, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there really is nobody you can compare him to. I mean, the only real comp is Babe Ruth, and even Babe Ruth only was a full-time pitcher and full-time outfielder for only 2 seasons. I mean, a lot of people talk about Ohtani is the next Babe Ruth, but in a lot of ways he surpassed Babe Ruth as far as what he has done for as long a period of time as he's done it. Now, when you look at the career numbers, obviously Ruth has had the better career to this point, but when you're looking at a two-way, if you just take in the years that they were both two-way players, Ohtani has been better than Babe Ruth.
John, you mentioned Juan Soto, and doesn't he and don't the Padres have to be a little bit of a cautionary tale for most of the other teams in Major League Baseball? I mean, I don't think the Dodgers are going to be in a situation where they are forced to trade Ohtani because they can't meet payroll. But for the most part, you really kind of have to be careful not to get overextended just because you don't know what's going to happen with TV contracts and with advertising and that kind of thing. When you've got so many
especially now with Bally.
Yeah, when you've got so many other things contributing to your bottom line, I mean, that's got to be embarrassing for the Padres, doesn't it, to even be in that position?
It is. And, I mean, the word leaked out late in the season that they had to borrow $500 million to make payroll for the last month of the season. And that's not good. I don't care what business you're in, whether it's baseball or any line
or journalism.
business. Yeah. Well, no, but none of us make 500 million combined, so I doubt if that matters. Excuse me, matters too much. But yeah, I mean, it was a unique circumstance in San Diego with Peter Seidler as the owner. Peter had had cancer 3 times. He knew that he probably wasn't long for this world. And sadly, about a month and a half ago, he passed away. Mm-hmm. And his point was, I want to bring a championship to San Diego, and I don't care if I bankrupt myself because, frankly, I'm not going to be here that much longer anyway. And now that Peter's
gone, it'll be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, it's somebody else's problem. And all of a sudden, the funds are no longer unlimited, and that's why you see Juan Soto traded. I mean, they just had to unload some players. They're not even trying to sign Blake Snell back, and he just won the Cy Young Award this past season. They have a couple other starting pitchers, and Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, who they didn't exercise options on either one of those players, even though they weren't even that expensive, the options, because they're trying to save some money and get the payroll down. And they still have 2 big contracts in Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. So, I give Peter Seidler a lot of credit for trying to win there. But boy, unfortunately, when he passed, he left the Padres in some pretty tough financial straits.
Well, and again, the biggest issue that they have is they don't have a television contract.
Yes.
And so, and now with Bally Sports in the situation it's in, it feels like half the league is going to be potentially in this same boat very soon. We don't know what the future holds. Yeah, we just don't know.
It is. And, talking to general managers around the leagues, especially the ones whose situations, like you said, tied in with Bally Sports and Diamond Sports and and all the uncertainty, they are watching their payroll a little bit. They have to, because they don't know for sure how much TV money is going to come in this year. They can estimate and they can guess and they can hope, but there is no certainty for a lot of these teams. In that situation, you're looking almost half of the 30 big league teams don't know what their television money is going to be in 2024. So it's certainly had an effect. And I think people say, well, why has the free agent market been slow? Why haven't a lot more big names beside Juan Soto been traded? And I think that's a lot of it because so many teams just don't know for sure how much money they can spend.
There you go.
That said, do you feel like everybody was kind of waiting on Ohtani to begin with the normal business of a baseball offseason, or do you think it's still going to continue to be slow as everybody tries to figure their situation out?
You would think that kind of breaks the logjam now, because there were 5 or 6 teams who legitimately had hopes of getting Ohtani. And now that those teams that didn't get him know that he's elsewhere, now they have money to spend on other players. So you would think, and usually a lot of times you see here in this period between now and the start of the holidays, these next 2 weeks, a lot of teams and agents like to try to get their business done now so they can take some time off at the holiday season for 10 days or so. So I would think that some of these free agents like Cody Bellinger would be the first guy that comes to mind, because he's probably the best hitter left on the free agent market now. I would think now he would start to get more solid, more, I don't want to say substantial is not the right word, but teams hadn't put a bid in on him because they were waiting to see if they were going to get Ohtani or not. Now that they know they're not getting Ohtani, now they know what they can afford and what they can offer to Cody Bellinger. So seemingly he would be next in line as far as the whole domino thing, especially with Juan Soto also being traded.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Who gets signed next?
I'm going to say Bellinger. I'm going to stick with Bellinger. I think the Cubs would love to bring him back. The Giants want him. The Yankees were interested, but now that they got Soto and Alex Verdugo, they're probably out of the running. But, you know, he could fit a lot of teams. He's had a really great comeback season this year with the Cubs, and he's put himself in position to get a big contract. And there aren't a whole lot of impact hitters out there on the free agency market this winter. So I would think that the action is surely heated up on him here in the last few days.
John, what are our Braves going to do? Dylan Cease was supposed to be a Brave a week ago.
Well, I still think it makes a lot of sense. They have the prospects and young players that they can trade to the White Sox for Dylan Cease. Dylan's a Georgia boy, and we know how much the Braves, how much success they've had with players from the state of Georgia and the South itself for so many years. It just seems like the perfect fit. I really believe that that's where Dylan Cease is going to wind up. I mean, like I said, the Braves can make the White Sox a really good offer to really tempt them with some good young players. And I'm sure Dylan Cease, though he has no say over where he will go at this point in his career, I would think the Braves would also think if we trade for Dylan Cease, him being a Georgian, that we probably have a pretty good chance of signing him for the long term than we would maybe some other pitchers.
Yeah, and I think the Braves have been trading in good faith with the White Sox for about a month now, giving them quite a bit, here and there.
Well, sometimes a lot of these things just take time. And, the White Sox, this is their best trade chip, unless they trade Luis Robert, their center fielder. And I don't think they're going to trade him because he's still young enough to rebuild around. So I think the White Sox know this is the one guy that can get them the most good young players to help a rebuild and return. So they're going to be deliberate. They're going to shop offers between teams until they get exactly what they want. So I think it's just a matter of time. But again, it just makes all the sense in the world for me that the Braves end up acquiring him. The Braves need another top-flight starting pitcher, and the White Sox need some good young players. So both sides have what each other needs to make a deal.
John Perrotto of Sportskeeda, appreciate your time as always, man. Looking forward to more baseball down the road.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. It was good talking with you again.
You too, John. Thanks.
We'll take a break. When we come back, MON-STARS. Stick around. Main Street Sports Stage, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Time now to take a look at the biggest stars from the weekend in sports. It is the MON-STARS. And so now we start. And Justin, will you be joining us?
Yes, sir. I got a couple on my mind here.
All right. We'll start. Mo, go ahead.
No, you can start with Justin since he wasn't
He's
here
got
last
some.
week.
Yeah, let's
I got
go ahead.
something to
Go ahead.
He got something to say.
So we rank. Is it ranked like my first?
No, it's just whoever.
Well, I'll go ahead and get the elephant in the room. I think that the officiating crew of the Chiefs game was fantastic. I don't know if that's is that a controversial thing to say or?
It would be controversial in Kansas City.
It would be controversial in Kansas City. It would probably get you drummed off the air in Kansas City. And,
and look,
it's probably a good thing that we don't have Heather Williams as a standing guest at this point.
Exactly. Call me an hater, whatever. That's fine. Yeah. You can call me that. Maybe I am, but I'm. I just I like the way that they executed calls. None in particular, but
none in particular. Listen to him. All right. Do you want me to go next?
Go ahead.
Okay. In light of Justin's first MON-STAR, I'm going to go with Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. 25 of 43 for 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 gigantic snap. And the Chiefs 20-17 lost to Buffalo.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
He was snapping for a long time.
He snapped for a long time. I was impressed.
Really, that was the best part. It wasn't what happened during the game wasn't even that great. It was afterwards.
That was. I mean, Bobby Cox would be
yes,
impressed. Yes. Okay.
Oh man, mine. We're gonna go back to a name that our friends at Summit would just soon forget. Former Knox Central standout and Mr. Football finalist.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Stop. He who doesn't watch Army Navy.
I know. It was worth it.
He who doesn't watch.
I said I'd never watched it. I did watch it, and it was worth it. It was worth watching. And let me tell you why I watched it. Because I wanted to see guys who we had seen, we've seen some guys, and I was hoping to see some players that we recognized. We did not see a whole lot of those guys, unfortunately, but I did recognize Caleb Fortner's name because
so did I.
Because they called it a lot. By the way, in this one, 10 times for tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. You got to mark them off your list. I apologize.
No, you don't.
I didn't know. But yes, I watched it. It was fun. And I'll tell you.
Are you not going to mention the 44-yard scoop and score for the win?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But how about 11? We got 11. 17-11 in the last game of the year. Can't hold anything back now, Brent.
Yeah, it's the last game of the year. Good Lord.
Caleb Fortner wins the game for Army. It's just, man, former Knox Central standout. And again, friends at Summit would just soon forget his name, but
yeah, you mean okay. So y'all are in the business of winning friends and influencing people. Justin's pissing Heather off. You're pissing Summit off. Hey, keep it up though, because I look good.
Oh, you're looking great right now. You look good.
We're not bitter though. We're not bitter people.
No. All right, go Justin.
I'm gonna go with Zach Wilson. I've always
dude was great.
First time all year he's thrown over 300 yards, 301, had 2 touchdowns, 75% completion rating. That's say what's up with that, haters.
Who would have thunk it?
Not many.
No, I'm
Certainly
not
not Robert Saleh.
Yeah, 27 for 36. That's good in the NFL, I think.
That is good in the NFL.
You'll
Okay.
take it.
So my second MON-STAR goes to Utah's Alyssa Peely.
See, you took mine. Now I got to
Now
go
we're
find the
even.
third one.
We're even. Alyssa Peely shot 15 of 23 from the floor, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, scored a career high 37 points for Utah
How good was she, man?
in
My
their
goodness.
78-69 loss to top-ranked South Carolina yesterday.
She was so good.
That's tough. 37 on a lot. But again, she walked into the Utes locker room and said, I didn't lose. Y'all lost. Yeah.
Well, I'll stick in women's basketball then, and we'll go with Lauren Betts of UCLA, who against Florida State, they drubbed the 20th ranked Knowles. She went for 22 points, 18 boards, 4 blocks. So
That's
got to give her some love against a ranked opponent. 22 and 18 is a good day, my friends. Lauren Betts of UCLA. Justin, you got one more?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's act like it's tomorrow.
Okay.
What a game Tyreek Hill had. You know, he's gonna go for 1,000 yards tonight. He's just gonna they're gonna snap it. He's gonna continually run, and then they're just gonna throw it, and then turn around and do it again. What a good game he's gonna have. Good for him, right?
Justin apparently found Nostradamus' crystal ball.
And he is reverse jinxing this all day.
Well, I mean,
Exactly.
it's tough. It's tough to think that he's not going to be right come this
You know,
time tomorrow.
It really is. So
It's like you can hope that we're gonna have people that are gonna stop him, but then when you just don't look at the roster, and then you can just think that. Because Christian Fulton's had a great year. Yeah, I don't want to get started, but what a good game he had last night or tonight.
In keeping with my MON-STARS and losing efforts, Demarion Polk of Columbia Central Friday night scored 25 points, knocked down 7 threes as the Lions fell 55-49 at Summit. 7 threes. Central hit 10 threes in the loss. Tough night.
That is tough. You know, it's funny because I was just thinking the other day that one of our top 5 should be greatest individual performances and losses.
That would be good.
So you have this is a sign,
There
right?
we go.
That this
There we go.
this is what we should do.
This is what we should do.
So tomorrow's top 5 will be greatest individual performances in losses.
I've got one right off the top of my head.
So
Me too.
this will be fun. This will be fun. I'm gonna go. Boy, what a great weekend it was for the Buffaloes of Colorado, both in recruiting and on the hardwood. Much in part thanks to Munich, Germany's Tristan da Silva, who was perfect from the free throw line, had 22 points, 10 boards, and was just 1 assist away from the triple-double in a 90-63 win over 15th ranked Miami. So, Tristan da Silva, you are my third and final MON-STAR. Great ball game for that young man.
I got to mention this guy real quick.
Who's that?
Dallas Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey,
What a
who
game.
has made
Birmingham Stallion.
27 straight field goals, apparently, including a 60-yarder
And a 59-yarder.
last night.
First time it's ever happened in NFL history.
First time ever.
So, I mean, if you can't make it in Major League Soccer, don't worry. There's a place for you in the National Football League.
But go to Birmingham first, where you can hone your skills as a stallion. There's a level.
It's just amazing. I mean,
Had never played football in his life
Well,
until
but
he
to
played
ask-
for the Birmingham Stallions. Had never played football. That's insane. Absurd. Ridiculous.
ludicrous.
And all of the other adjectives that we can think of.
My favorite thing about him is when he kicks it, like he doesn't look like he's like, I don't know, I'm just out here doing this. I'm not sure what's going on.
Boy, I sure do wish I could be playing Major League Soccer,
He probably
but
is.
instead I'm here
Yeah.
kicking 60-yarders for America's team.
He's like, is this far? Is this a far kick?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, like everybody's so excited, and he's like, "Why is everybody so excited?
Yeah.
I'm
supposed to do
my
this, right?
job."
I mean, shoot, I could have been done. I could have been done this. You know.
Oh goodness. Well, let's continue talking about the National Football League on the other side of a quick break because Terry McCormick is standing by, so we'll get to him in just a moment. Stick with us.
He shoots and he scores!
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic. Oh, welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Time now for Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Report, powered by Zen Sports. What's up, Terry?
Guys, going to go a little different avenue. I know the Titans have a game tonight in Miami, but certainly would be remiss if we did not remember Titans legend Frank Wycheck and all the contributions that he made here, not only as a player, but also as a broadcaster and as a friend to media in terms of being one of the real leaders in that organization in terms of players who laid the groundwork for the acceptance of this franchise here. I mean, Mo, I know you probably recall this, and I'm sure, Chris, you do too. When this team first came here, they weren't exactly welcomed with open arms.
Terry, I
There
was
was a
12
referendum.
years old.
There was a referendum regarding the stadium. It passed by not an overwhelming margin. And then there were some PR missteps and all the things that, you know, kind of came with the year at Memphis, the year at Vanderbilt. But the guys in that locker room, whether it be Wycheck or Steve McNair, Eddie George, Chris Sanders, Derek Mason, Neil O'Donnell, Craig Hentrick, the list goes on and on and on. Quality individuals who helped win over the people of Nashville, not only with their play on the field, but with their work in the community and becoming a part of this city, so much so that a lot of them wound up making their permanent homes here long after their playing careers were done. And certainly Frank Wycheck was near the top of that list in terms of popular players and guys who helped to cement this franchise and help it take root here in Nashville after it came from Houston. I think one of the things that helped endear Frank to fans, he was kind of an everyman, kind of a blue-collar guy, even though he was a heck of a tight end and a three-time Pro Bowler. Just to talk to him, he was just a regular guy, somebody that you could carry on a conversation with on other topics besides football for sure. And I think it probably helped Frank, too, in his legacy that once his playing career was done, he went to the morning show on 104.5 The Zone for many years with Mark Howard and Kevin Ingram, and then also was Mike Keith's color analyst for a decade or so on the Titans radio broadcast. And I think that sort of endeared him to fans in a way that his legacy was kind of made on two different fronts. First as a player and then as a broadcaster. And I think a lot of people, everybody that knew Frank really liked him. And I think that a lot of people that didn't know Frank liked him and felt like they knew him just because of his personality and his work.
No doubt. We talked about that a little earlier in the show, but absolutely 100% accurate.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't say it any better. And I think Terry really touched on the totality of, Frank Wycheck as a Titan and post Titan as well. So well said, Terry. Thank you.
Thanks for having me and let me talk on that. Let's talk a little bit about the game before we, talk about Zen Sports here. What do you guys think? I mean, do the Titans have a prayer? I mean, it would take two or three really big things happening. One, it would take them owning the time of possession, running Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears into the ground, if you will, and owning the time of possession, 33, 34 minutes. It would take Will Levis making some timely throws to these receivers, to keep drives moving and to score points when they get in the red zone. And then it would take them winning the turnover battle somehow on defense, despite being without Jeffrey Simmons and Christian Fulton tonight. So certainly an uphill battle for the Titans, who I believe are a 13-point underdog down in Miami.
If there's anything that Miami does, it's beat teams with losing records. So I don't think the Titans have much of a chance, to be honest with you. I just don't.
Well, if you're a Titans fan, you probably need to be, if you don't think they're going to win, there is a second Monday night game on tonight, and it's the Packers at the Giants. And if you're a Titans fan and you're wanting them to improve their draft stock, you need to be pulling hard for the New York Giants in their underdog role against the Pack. Because if the Giants win and the Titans lose, then the Titans would pick fifth as it stands right now in next spring's draft. And that would put them certainly in range for a left tackle that they sorely need, or Marvin Harrison Jr. So, you got to think too that there are some quarterback needy teams that would be picking ahead of them and behind them. It's not out of the question that one of those teams would want to come up and allow the Titans to move back and pick up some draft capital, which they also need. So, there is a silver lining to all this, and but it won't come until next spring.
Yeah, silver lining is out there, but like you said, it's a long way from now. And I agree with you that the Titans need to run the football and they need to be successful doing so. But this offense that Miami has is already dynamic enough, and like you said, without Jeffrey Simmons, without Christian Fulton, it may not matter how long the Titans have the football.
No, it may not, but but if you limit them to the number of possessions, I think we talked on Friday how that the Dolphins are capable of 2-play drives that cover 75 yards with all of their explosiveness. But if you don't run the football, if you don't move the chains, and you don't win time of possession, and you give them, say, 3 extra drives with the football, you're going to get buried sure enough. So
there's no doubt.
So in order to keep it close and have a chance to hang in, I think they really do need to win the time of possession tonight.
Yeah, I don't foresee it, but as Justin so noted here, this is just the type of game that Mike Vrabel wins. It really is.
Well, he's certainly going to be challenged to win it.
There's no question there.
I mean, I will certainly tune in to see how he does it.
There you go.
There we go. Terry, tell us about Zen Sports.
All right, let's talk about Zen Sports. You've been hearing me talk about Zen Sports, the new sports betting app exclusively in Tennessee the last few months, and I'm excited to share with you some big news. Now, when you sign up for a Zen Sports account, you will receive up to a $1,000 no danger first wager. That's right. When you place your first bet in Zen Sports with up to plus 500 odds, you can be reimbursed for the amount of your bet up to a $1,000 maximum within 24 hours if the bet loses. And there's more good news. Zen Sports is rolling out its brand new VIP rewards program. This new VIP rewards program will allow top-tier customers to earn more bonuses, comps, and perks. The VIP program is by invite only, so if you feel your Zen Sports play qualifies for VIP consideration, please check out the program details and apply at zensports.com/VIP. No other sportsbook will offer you a premier sports betting experience with 24/7 top-tier customer support and faster withdrawals than Zen Sports. So what are you waiting for? Get going and download their app at zensports.com today. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best-looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-855-844-0445.
When you're on the go, you deserve service that's fast, friendly, and clean. You know what else you deserve? All the perks to go with it. At Fast Stop Markets, you can have both. Give yourself an upgrade. Enroll in Fast Stop Perks. Trust us, you'll be shocked at how fast the perks start rolling out. As a loyal Fast Stop customer, you'll feel like an A-list celebrity every time you walk through our doors. You can now shop and earn every time you visit our stores. Enroll in the Fast Stop Perks loyalty program and start earning points that you can spend like cash on fuel, food, and more. You can also earn great freebies, join reward clubs, and most importantly, use your points to get money off at the pump. It all happens at checkout with our friendly staff. Just be sure to use your Fast Stop Perks card or app every time you purchase. You want perks too, don't you? Enroll today and start earning the perks you deserve. Visit your local Fast Stop Markets or go to faststopperks.com to start earning your perks today. Fast Stop Markets, keeping you moving.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton here on this Monday. Got a lot to react to in the world of the National Football League. And since we're coming out of talking a little bit about the Titans and their game tonight, we talked about it earlier. Patrick Mahomes was big mad last night.
That's one way to put it.
And look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was the right call. I think it's a weird call. But
yes,
the right call.
Yes. I mean, I think that's a perfect explanation. I think I heard that offensive offsides has been called twice this year. That was the second time.
I'm surprised it was twice.
Well,
it's a really unusual call.
But now I don't know if it's only been called twice because it's only happened twice. Because, I mean, if you're a receiver, I mean, you see it at every level from junior high up. You look out at the line judge or the side judge to see where you are, and they'll tell you come up, come back, whatever, and then they'll give you the thumbs up when you are good.
Typically,
And Tony never did that.
The only and one of the reasons that he didn't, one, he knew where the line, he knew what yard line the line of scrimmage was on, and he was on it. Unfortunately, his center brought the ball back instead of up, and when you do that, the neutral zone moves. And so
he didn't know. He thought he knew. And
Well,
that's where
that is
trust
the line
but
of scrimmage.
verify comes from.
So the line of scrimmage was the 44, I believe. Anyway, it was yard inside the 5, inside the 5-yard marker. So it wasn't a line all the way across the field. But he was on the yard line. You just got to be careful not to get into the neutral zone, which is, of course, where the football is. And that's where you have to. And he was looking at the ball. You watch his head. He was looking at the ball the entire time. Never asked the official. Of course, one of the reasons he didn't ask for the official is because he was basically in the middle of the field. You know, typically when you're a receiver, you're not far away from that line judge or that side judge, you know, that the head linesman or the line judge, and say, "Hey, am I good?" He was a long way away. So
here's the thing.
The simple thing is line up on the hip of the guy next to you.
Well, here's the thing, though. Kadarius Toney does not have a whole lot of margin for error.
No.
Because this is not his first
mistake.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. Blunder, mental error.
All of those are good. Yes. This was not his first. And so when you are on that edge, it would behoove you to take all the steps that you can take to protect yourself from another mistake, blunder, mental error.
Up. So, no, I agree with you completely. Trust me. I just, it kind of reminds me of a time that I was on the sideline and I was standing at the dotted line and the official told me to get back. And I was like, but I'm behind the line. He said, you need to be a foot behind it. And I was like, well, then why is the line here? If this ain't the line,
then why? Yeah. Let's move the line before we move me. Yeah.
This is my line.
This is the line. I'm behind it.
And so that's
now. I mean, if you're gonna come measure a foot, then come on.
But and I think that's kind of where Tony was at the time. But again, and in the NFL, they try to cheat as they want to be as close to the line of scrimmage as possible because it's, you know, that forces the defensive backs to kind of play a little bit farther back. He didn't even have that issue. Like there was nobody even covering him at the line of scrimmage. There are zero excuses for Kadarius Toney to have been standing where he was standing.
And yet.
And yet here he is.
And yet. Yes.
So
nuts. And obviously adding insult to injury was
they scored.
He scored. He scored.
Yeah. Of all the things.
On Travis Kelce's tribute to Frank WYCHECK.
And perfect passer rating. That's something we had not mentioned to this point. Frank WYCHECK's perfect passer rating in the NFL.
Well, that one was not a pass either. That was a lateral, even more so than Frank's. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I think Mahomes was big mad at the officials for calling it, but I think he was also big mad at Tony for creating the situation on top of his other mistakes, blunders, mental errors.
Yeah.
So it was bad. And now all of a sudden Kansas City is in a tough spot from a postseason standpoint.
How important was Tyreek Hill to that offense?
More important than they realized at the time. Clearly. I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers / Packers 2.0. Right down to Valdez Scantling.
Literally.
being on both rosters.
Yeah, being on the roster. It's going to get worse. Because, see, Kadarius Toney was supposed to be the guy who took that role, right? Much
Tyreek Hill?
Yes. Like he's
really?
He's supposed to be the speed guy, the guy who can kind of slash, play, you know, the Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill role. Much like AJ Brown was supposed to be replaced by Treylon Burks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, NFL GMs are finding out that you can't replace guys of that caliber with a rookie out of the draft.
Well, not just a rookie out of the draft, but I mean, Kadarius Toney and Tyreek Hill?
Look, I am not going to slander Kadarius Toney's collegiate career because he absolutely was the thorn in Vol's sides for.
I'm not slandering his collegiate career. I'm just saying that putting him on a level with Tyreek Hill is insulting to Tyreek Hill.
Well, and the same with Treylon Burks with AJ Brown. That's what I'm saying, though. They thought that they could get a guy who had a similar skill set and be capable of giving you similar results without paying guys that needed to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't work out more times than not.
Sometimes you just got to pay the man.
Yes, Andy. Just call the man.
Just call the man. Yep. Call him and pay him. Yes.
Just call him, pay him, and that's how it is. And the Chiefs are finding that out. The Chiefs are finding that out. They are not a great football team right now. They're barely even a good football team right now. Because here's the thing, the Bills are not good. So there's that.
But the Bills got Stephon Diggs.
Exactly.
And the Chiefs do not.
Are the Eagles good enough for another Super Bowl run after last night's debacle?
I think last night was more. This pains me to say this. I think last night was more the Cowboys than it was the Eagles.
My Cowboys are looking good.
Your Cowboys?
The ones I picked to win the Super Bowl. My Cowboys pick is looking really good right now. Them, of course, they got to go through the 49ers.
I still think
you got to go through the 49ers.
I still think on any given Sunday, you throw the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the 49ers in a bag, drag any two of them out to play each other, and any of them can beat any other one on any given Sunday.
Can the Eagles beat either of them with Jalen Hurts in this situation? He's hurt. He's not injured, but he's hurt. And I don't know, remember who it was who said that Marcus Mariota. David Carr. Is he right? Do they need to take him off the field and get him right before they screw this up?
How much is it going to cost you taking him off the field? Because, I mean, is 80% of Jalen Hurts better than 100% of Marcus Mariota?
Now or in the playoffs? Because I would rather have 100% of Marcus Mariota for 2 weeks and then have 100% of Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. Because here's the thing. If you're not the number one seed, you got to win the same number of games no matter what, right?
But where you got to win them, though?
And they're going to, I mean, you might have to travel in the conference championship.
Well, no, I mean, if they –
because you got
if they are not the number one seed, they're probably going to be a wild card because Dallas is probably going to win the East.
That's true. They'll have to go on the road. But they're probably not going to win the East at this point.
How far back are they?
I think they may be tied. But my concern is the playoffs.
They are tied. They are 10-3.
But if you
have they played both times yet?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Yes, they have.
Split.
I feel like
Cowboys win twice?
nope, they beat them 28-23 in November 5th.
Okay, so they split.
But the Cowboys have the
Do
point
they have the
differential.
tiebreaker?
So
The Eagles they go to Seattle next Monday night. They're at home against the Giants on Christmas.
the Giants, Cardinals, and Giants. Why would you not play Marcus Mariota? You can win those games.
Maybe they're waiting to get to those games.
Maybe so.
I mean, just because they have them doesn't mean they won't.
Right.
Against that schedule, I think it does make sense to sit Hurts the rest of the way. And try
At
to get
least
him
for a
right
week or
the
two,
playoffs.
just to see how he heals. Maybe he just needs a week. We don't know. But he's hurt right now.
Meanwhile-
and it's causing them problems.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys go to Buffalo on Sunday.
Not ideal.
They go to Miami on Christmas Eve.
That's a loss.
They host Detroit,
It's not easy.
and then they go to Washington.
Heck, you could sit him and lose a game and feel comfortable that you're going to outwin the Cowboys the rest of the way.
The Cowboys have 3 games that are iffy at best.
At Buffalo is not easy.
No,
Miami's is obviously a tough game. And then, of course, you get Detroit at home. But dang,
which Detroit?
which Detroit do you get? That is the question.
But the Eagles
Detroit,
have
so while they're 9-4 and nobody's like, everybody's like, this team's not even any good.
the Eagles' last 3 games are against teams you could put Devontae back there in Wildcat.
Yeah,
and
you
like your
really could.
chances.
I mean, seriously, they are just the Giants are 4-8. They're terrible. Terrible.
And you play them twice
twice.
in the last 3 weeks. What is the NFL scheduler smoking? How does that work?
Clearly a fan of the Eagles. Clearly an Eagles fan.
I mean, how do you play any division foe twice
The Titans
in
did it.
3 weeks?
Remember
Yeah.
the Titans played the Texans like twice in December last year. So weird.
I don't know how you explain that. I don't know what sense that makes.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell you what we do have is Landon Secrest. And we could talk a little bit about the association and their in-season tournament, the first year of that, and what to look forward to in the coming years, assuming the in-season tournament remains. So stick around. We'll talk to him in just a moment, right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton here on this Monday Mirror as we look back at the weekend of sports, including the National Basketball Association's in-season tournament's conclusion with the Los Angeles Lakers winning the inaugural tournament. And Mo, as you said, Michael Jordan never won one of those. So clearly.
It was not an original.
No, but still.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So we're going to talk now, though, with Landon SECREST of Seacoast Sports, who joins us now.
Hold up a minute.
What's up?
This is Belmont University women's basketball sideline analyst.
That's right.
Landon SECREST joining us. So there. Good afternoon, Landon.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Good.
How's finals? Are we done?
Good. I took a final exam today. I have 3 more left for the rest of the week. So
3 more.
Yep.
You ace it?
Yes.
Feeling good.
There we go. All right. As long as you're taking care of business, because I don't want the former vice mayor coming down on you for not taking care of business in the classroom.
And she will.
Yeah. Landon, I can say that I did not watch a single minute of the in-season tournament, so get me up to speed. What was the significance of it?
I think it's just a motivational factor for the players, just to get them excited to play games in these early months of the season. And for fans like me, it really gives you a reason to watch a game that actually means something other than watching a random Tuesday night game or random Thursday night game. You know, when you have LeBron James arguably playing at his highest level in these tournament games in the semifinals and finals in particular, it really means a lot. And it shows that the players are caring in this first year. And it's really neat to see that they did all of this with the jerseys and the alternative site, bringing the players to Vegas. And it was a great championship game, in my opinion, between the Pacers and the Lakers.
Yeah, as a whole, the tournament seemed to be well received by fans and by players. And as I mentioned on the show Friday, it appeared that players were taking this a little more seriously.
Yeah, I believe so. I think that especially LeBron James, when there's a trophy on the line, I was expecting him to raise his level of play. But I mean, even Kevin Durant of the Suns, Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, there were several players that kind of upped their level of play. So you could tell that the first in-season tournament was really serious.
Now let me ask you, Landon, was it the trophy that prompted them to up their game?
Or was it the
$500,000 that prompted them to up their game?
Well, when you're at LeBron James and nearly or almost already a billionaire, I think that 500,000 is an additive, but adding another trophy that you mentioned in the prelude to this that Michael Jordan doesn't have, and the namesake could potentially be the LeBron James trophy now, if we're talking the in-season tournament MVP. True. I think those were motivating factors as well. So,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a trophy named after him, and Jordan does at this point, so that would be something that is necessary to get back on that level. It is interesting, though, because this in-season tournament is, the WNBA does it, and I think it's interesting. But
that's particularly interesting that the NBA is doing something that the WNBA did first.
I got to feel like that it was a test run in the WNBA, and to see kind of how it would work. And it feels like Adam Silver likes most of what the in-season tournament did and does, but there's always room for improvement. What are some things that you're hearing that they like or dislike about the tournament right now?
I think definitely the marketing ability of the new courts and the new jerseys, that's always going to be a plus, because you'll be able to get those special edition NBA jerseys that were worn in in-season game, and that'll be worth X amount of dollars in the future. But
but they get the Lakers some that they can wear.
Exactly. You're exactly right. No conflict on the eyes over a pain to see on their court for someone with hard vision like me. And just seeing the players' reaction to the games. And I heard Kevin Garnett mention this theory that maybe this could be something that is a standalone in the future, where the All-Star game is, see the players come out, they're all on the sidelines, they have their own section, they have their cameras, their cell phones, and they're in their best outfits. And that's another marketing thing for the in-season tournament. If it stays in Vegas or if they move it to a different city, I mean, that's just so much marketability. So I think those are things that Adam Silver is definitely going to look at.
This guy talking marketing strategies and that kind of thing. Clearly, it is chess and not checkers being played as far as this in-season tournament. On the floor, aside from the from the intensity of there being a trophy to chase out there, what did you see that you liked?
I really liked the play of Tyrese Halliburton, seeing the new stars in the league. I mean, even Tyrese Maxey as well. He deserves a mention. And just the new players in the league that don't get as much attention if they're in a smaller market like an Indiana Pacers team, and you have an unconventional style of play, an unconventional jump shot. The in-season tournament provided him a stage for everyone to see how really good he was. And although they did lose in the finals, just to see everybody knows Tyrese Halliburton's name now, pretty much, if you're an NBA fan and you were watching the games. So that's really positive. I think the in-season tournament is going to give players like that a stage to kind of see that, hey, we're made of this too. So, something like the NCAA tournament does in the college game. I think you can get those players that, hey, he emerged as an in-season tournament star in this year, and he's been on a tear ever since.
How does the NBA, how do these teams carry over the momentum that they built in the in-season tournament now that they go back to December regular season games that clearly nobody cares about?
I think the next thing is finding that motivation in between this and the Christmas games, because the Christmas matchups this year are going to be great, but finding the meaning in the games that you're going to be playing. I mean, you look at the Timberwolves that weren't in the finals of the in-season tournament, but they're atop the league in terms of wins right now. You look at the Celtics team that lost earlier than they probably should have in the in-season tournament, so they're going to be motivated. The Oklahoma City Thunder are having a great season as well. There are several teams that are kind of have their own reasons. The Orlando Magic definitely deserve a mention. They're a young team that has really surprised a lot of people this year. So it's going to be interesting to see those teams that are kind of reemerging. And obviously the Lakers are on top right now, and we know they have another motivation going towards those Christmas games and just maximizing the last years of LeBron's career. Just more motivation than ever for them. But I think there's going to be a lot more teams that are going to be extra now that, hey, we had this stage in the in-season tournament. We maybe didn't perform as we wanted to. Let's get it back together. Let's circle the wagons before the All-Star break, get our season back together, those type of things.
Okay, so like I said, I didn't watch any of it. Was this single elim all the way through, or how did?
There was initially group stages. It was kind of randomized. I don't know the theory behind groups, but there were 4 teams in a group, I believe, and you had to win your group, and then you advance to the knockout stages, and that was the 8 teams that advance to knockout stages. You win those games, and you go to the semifinals. You win those games, and you go to the championship.
Okay. All right. Were there teams that performed maybe above what their expectations were that you could see making a run here now that we get back into regular season play?
I think definitely the Knicks are probably that team in the top 8 that was there that, although they're a good team in the East, nobody was expecting them to be up there with the Pacers and the Phoenixes and all of the Sacramento Kings and those teams that we've already seen what they can do this year so far. The Knicks are kind of that middle of the pack team, but they showed that they can definitely hang in the East, and they're going to be a team to watch, with the top 3 teams in the East being probably now Indiana, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. And then, of course, the Orlando Magic are there as well.
You did not mention Boston.
And Boston. Forgive me.
Okay.
Forgive me.
I just wanted to make sure, because, I mean, I know I don't keep up a lot, but I thought they were supposed to be one of the better teams in the East coming into this season.
100%.
Okay. All right. Landon Secrest, you can see him at Seco_sports on Twitter.
You can.
Joining us here on Main Street Sports today.
Before we let you go, we got to ask you your expectations of Ja Morant ahead of, coming out December 19th.
A week from tomorrow.
I know, finally. But
you going?
No, I will not be there, but I'll be watching.
Okay.
Grizzlies 6-15, 11 games out first. How much of an impact does Ja have on this team without Steven Adams?
I still think Ja Morant is going to arrive and be one of the best players in the league, just because he's now going to have something to prove on top of that immense talent. And when you look at the Grizzlies, although they don't have a Steven Adams and they're missing some of those pieces from last year's team, I think that they're not going to instantly pick up and become a great team all of a sudden. But Ja's going to get them back on track. You look at Desmond Bane, I believe it was a couple of games ago, he went for about 49. So I think Desmond Bane hasn't missed a beat. So I think putting Ja Morant back into the mix, I think the Grizzlies are going to be, they're not going to be fine immediately, but they'll get back into the groove for sure. Definitely, I can see them. If Ja gets back and is playing at the level that we know Ja can play at, I think they can squeak into the play-in. I think they've lost too many games now to kind of be above that team. But if they can sneak into the play-in, this is a team definitely to watch.
Now, forgive me because I do not know. Is Marcus Smart going to play? Is he still out?
I believe Marcus Smart is still out. So that would be interesting to see how he pairs with Ja and also Derrick Rose on the team. Just who's the off guard when Ja is on the court, because we know he's going to be ball dominant and we know he's going to demand a lot of attention. What can that second guard do?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, should be fun. Landon, as always, great job. We appreciate it, and good luck on the remainder of your finals. Look forward to seeing you on the sidelines of more Belmont women's basketball.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll take a break. When we come back, final segment of the day, we've got talk about the Heisman Trophy. Did the voters get it right? We'll tell you our thoughts on the other side. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton. Final segment of the day, Mo, as we continue looking back at the weekend in sports, and I don't think we've got enough time to finish up everything that we had on the docket. So that's good.
More for tomorrow, right?
More for tomorrow. Jaden Daniels took home the Heisman Trophy. Did voters get it right? That is the question. And based on the difference in votes, I would say most people would say they got it right.
I think they did. I mean, I think when you look at the numbers and who he did it against, I think they did get it right. I think folks that are particularly perplexed by whether or not they got it right are probably looking at the fact that he's not in the college football playoff, but two other candidates didn't make it either. So, I mean, Penix is the only one that did. So I don't know, but I think his performance from week to week was probably the most deserving.
I agree. I think they got it right. I think Jaden Daniels and obviously, I think Michael Penix would have been an acceptable winner.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I picked Bo Nix ahead of the season. I feel like I did pretty good though with the pick. And he finished third. That's pretty darn good. I'll take that. But Daniels, again, like you said, it never mattered. Look, they lost 3 games. The only game that they lost because of poor offensive performance was FSU.
Was it their first game?
Week 1.
Yeah.
And they lost to Ole Miss because the defense gave up 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost to Alabama and played with Alabama all the way up through the third quarter. And so, 2 of your 3 losses being to a team that made the college football playoff and the other that could have made the college football playoff if, the 2 teams that they were debating on who was going to make it of the top 4 in the country. And then the other one's number 11 in the country. Just because he has 3 losses doesn't mean that the 3 losses are on him.
Right.
And so I think it think it was a good job by the voters. I think they did exactly right. I do, however, have a question. Who the heck voted for J.J. McCarthy in first? And whomever it is, show thyself so we can remove your vote permanently.
Somebody from Michigan.
Oh, there's no question.
I mean,
Blake Corum got one vote. I understand that one.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody from Michigan's going to get a first place vote, it should be him.
Blake Corum, yeah. But not J.J. McCarthy.
I think somebody did it just because whoever it was that said McCarthy's Heisman candidacy should be immediately revoked because of the sign scandal.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, yeah, well,
there we go.
He's number one now.
Mm-hmm. Take that.
And so, it's just, it is interesting that, Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't even close and got the invite. And I'm curious.
I don't know what the cutoff was. I mean, I'm not seeing all the numbers, but how close was he to 5?
To 5? I don't know, but he was 500 points away from Bo Nix.
From 3. That's what I'm asking. I mean, surely he was closer to Bo Nix than the 5th place finisher was to him.
That's a question.
I mean, I don't know why the break point was between 4 and 5 and not between
the
3 and 4.
The break point was so that it wasn't just
quarterbacks.
It's my guess. I don't know that, but that's what I would guess. This was the closest race in the last decade, which again, not surprising considering how weird it, how weird of a season it kind of was. I can't find the full voting numbers. But he clearly was closer to 5 than he was 3 because he was 500 points and he only got 352 points. He was 500 away from 3rd. And clearly, and you can't be more than 500 away from 352. So therefore, I mean, that's just anyway. I think voters got it right. I'm glad they did. I'm glad Jaden Daniels won it. So my question to you is, who's going to win it next year?
Okay. So, Jordan Travis was 5th with 85.
Okay, so at least he had triple digits.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Okay, I can give him that. I'll take it.
Milroe was 6th. Ollie Gordon was 7th. Cody Schrader was 8.
Cody Schrader. Tennessee was his Heisman moment, right?
Yeah. Blake Corum, who is listed as quarterback by the Sporting News, was 9th, and J.J. McCarthy, who is the quarterback at Michigan, is 10th. So I don't know. We should have talked about this and didn't, but Cody Schrader was apparently the Burlsworth Trophy winner last week. Named for Brandon Burlsworth, a former Arkansas offensive lineman, and goes annually to the top college football player who begins his career as a walk-on. And it's presented, I don't know if it's presented in Fayetteville or in Little Rock, but it's presented in Arkansas. And Schrader, in his acceptance speech, thanked the people of Arkansas for letting him back into the state.
That is great.
Yeah. So
it's in Bentonville.
Bentonville. I wonder if it's at the Walmart distribution center.
It's at the Walmart. It's actually at Walmart, like in the back.
The Bentonville Walmart.
In the back, yeah. Is Jalen Milroe the favorite for 2024? Because here's the thing: if the first half of his season was as good as the second half of the Tennessee game forward, he probably wins the award this year.
Mm-hmm.
So if he has a full season,
if he plays a full season like the season he just played, like
the last half of the season,
this season, yeah.
We said that. Do you remember when the December? I think it was maybe 19 when Derrick Henry just basically burst onto the scene that December. He had like a 100-yard game every single week. And then people were like, well, if you get this December Derrick Henry, you've got a monster. And they did.
And he was.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe may be the winner from post to wire next year.
He's going to be tough to beat again if he continues. I don't even think it's necessarily on this trajectory.
Yeah.
I just think if he plateaus right here and stays right here.
I think Dylan Gabriel at Oregon is, I mean,
he
Bo
is
Nix,
something to deal with. Yeah.
So you look at him. I think if Travis Hunter can actually play two ways and be healthy, it's hard to eliminate him. And
depending on how good they are, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, based off what we're seeing, they're going to be pretty decent. Ollie Gordon, running back, got some votes this year.
Is he back?
He is back. I think he'll be an option. And then Cam Ward, watch out.
Oh, has he landed?
He's not landed yet.
But wherever he is, somebody's getting a Heisman candidate, huh?
And then maybe not Jaden Daniels, but how about Jalen?
In Kansas?
If he can stay healthy, he's a dark horse.
It's going to be tough to make a run at the Heisman from Kansas, I think, but we'll see.
And yet, wouldn't it be cool if he did?
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be a whole lot cooler if he did. Come back tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll have Chip Walters, as we typically do on Tuesdays, and much more coming your way. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.